So Michel, welcome to Lithuania. Michel just came yesterday from Canada, and today we had a very long sound check, so we won't take long, just like 15-20 minutes, but we are very happy to have you here and to ask some questions, just to share with the audience how do you live, how do you create, and so on. But Michel, first of all, first time in Lithuania.
Yes.
How is it?
Yeah, I love it. Very good. I think Lithuanian people are very good hosts, because I feel like home already. And I had a little problem with my internet yesterday. I saw Paulus, who does the internet, and then he helped me for about an hour, and then another person helped me for this and that, and it's a good feeling. But yesterday we saw a little bit of Vilnius by night, just a little bit, and it looks great. Too bad I have to leave tomorrow already, but maybe another time.
I hope you will come back. Now, just to present to everybody who is Michel, I have to read how many names you have.
Oh.
Okay, so Michelis Lauzière, he is visual humorist, fantasy artist, musician, creative performer, master of unusual comedy, inventor, acrobat, comedian. So who are you, Michel?
I'm not so much acrobat anymore. I used to do more of the acrobat, but physical stuff, visual stuff, and also a little invention. When we say inventor, it's just a way of saying that I invent my own instruments.
Yes.
I'm not a real inventor, because what I invent is useless. It's only useful for me in my show.
And for the audience.
For the fun of it, yes, exactly. And I have, I brought a couple of examples here.
Okay.
Like this is the most simple of my instruments. It's just a mixer from the kitchen and a wooden spoon. And I transform objects. Instead of mixing a cake with this, I play music with it. And I'm also, as you can tell, I'm wearing something very weird. All different horns, different notes. 18 of them. So when I move, we get a kind of a choreography, but we can hear the notes as well. So maybe I can play something later with this. Now? This is my story, because when I was a kid, I wanted to be a real musician, but at home we had no money for instruments, and so my parents said, I was always asking for a piano and a violin. They said, no, you can use your imagination, and that was the first example they gave me. My parents, they said, they played Happy Birthday to me. That was my first musical gift, and I said, this is no instrument. They said, yes, use your imagination, and that we can play Happy Birthday to you with this. Then I said, yes, I can do music with kitchen stuff, or anything in the house, around the house, in the basement, in the garage. Objects I turn into musical instruments. That's what I do.
Well, that sounds and looks amazing.
It's very interesting. Actually, I want to ask you a question, but you just said that everything starts when you was a child.
Yes.
And actually, when you was a child, you create at that moment different instruments, or later you in it.
Gradually, yes. Gradually, trying to play with objects I found, like a air pump, like things like this. Even when I first got a shaver, I was about 15 years old. I noticed when you change the speed of the shaver, I tried it, but always thinking about how to transform sounds into music. So it's became a second nature, and sometimes I just hear some noise, like this. Okay, and then. Then I change the level, and then I make a little instrument. It's almost obsessive, but I try sometimes to say, okay, shut, don't try anymore. So it's a way of thinking. It's a way of, and also when I go to a hardware store, for me this is like a music store, because I say, oh, I could do this with that, and I could do another note with this, and like those horns, normally it's like pat for bicycle horns, but I try to play music with them, Would you like to hear them? Would you like to hear some now?
Yes, of course.
That is my level. How about this one? Very complicated. The other one was too hard. Thank you.
And of course, all artists, they cannot be artists if they don't have audience. So when you
Yes, exactly.
first time you feel that you like perform to audience, to your friends.
First, I was not only doing a music instrument or thinking about sounds, but at first I was a juggler. And then I was doing shows at school, you know, when they have a special event at the end of the season. And then for the first time, I did some juggling in front of people. And I saw that obviously I was not a juggler, technically I was not a world-class juggler, especially at this time. But I noticed that when you put comedy to what you do, it always makes it better. And then I used the performing, like juggling and a little bit of acrobatic as well, but always trying to put comedy so that people like what they see, but at the same time they say, ah ha ha, it's not serious. So I'm not good enough to be a serious acrobat or juggler or musician. So I try to use my sense of humor to compensate and also to make sure that when you're right, when you see, you can never tell if something is good until you try it with an audience. It's always the audience who says, they don't say it, but their reaction tells you if it's good to do that again or you have to change it. Sometimes you think this idea will be good at the beginning of the act, and then the other one here will be at the end. Then you do it with the public, and you realize that this one has to go there and this one has to go there. Mm-hmm. So being listening to the people, something I learned in talent shows when I was 14, 15, and gradually doing more and more of the performing on stage. And as you said, without an audience, you never know what is good and what is not good.
And talking about the audience, you have visited like all countries, I guess,
Not
because
all
more
countries.
than a million people have seen your shows all over the world. Some places you have
I've
never
been in 56 countries, and there are much more than that, but and
Only
many 460 something cities, a lot of the big cities and a lot of the small cities. Everywhere there is people, I like to go where they invite me. So yes, I've been in many places, and the fact that what I do is musical. And when I choose what I just played, when I choose my melodies, I make sure that they are melodies that everybody can recognize. Mm. So I would not play like yo 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 la 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 la. This one I couldn't play it here. I try, but I will not play it in China because they don't know what it is. I would play another one that they. But I always try to play at least one local melody. But the main thing for me is to always find something that everybody can recognize, can relate to. So that's why I can travel in different places, and I don't speak so much, but I'm happy that people can understand English here. That's good for me. And but I did some TV shows in Chinese, but I just had about 3 or 4 minutes to learn. But then when I'm finished, people think I speak the language. I say, oh, no. I just learned what I had to say in that language. So, but that allows me to visit many places, and it's great. Visiting the world, you perform, you put a smile on people's face, and you get money for that. Cannot get better than that. That's the best job in the world. Yep.
I also wanted to ask you about the preparation. This is very interesting. Like, how long does it take to get ready one of your pieces of the performance? Like, I can imagine Mozart. Yes. It was like weeks of preparation.
Which one you say?
Mozart, the symphony you played with the rollerblades.
Oh yeah, with the bottles on the street. Yeah, yes. that took a long time. And sometimes some acts are very quick to prepare.
Like this one.
Like this one is easy to prepare. But this one is hard to build, and takes a lot of time to think about it and then do the right notes. Where do I put the notes? This one here, this one there. And after that, what will I play? And in which order? And now learn it. That's the longest thing, is to learn to play this. And but normally I have a little musical sheet where I have the notes, but also a little drawing of a man, and then I have a dot here and dot there. That means here and there. It's not real notes I'm reading, but the thing is, some are really hard and long to prepare. Like this one was most complicated, and probably it took about 2 years to, not full time, but from the time I had the idea of this horn suit and the time I made it on stage, I performed it for the first time, it was 2 years. So it's a lot of, hopefully they're not all like, luckily they're not all like this, because it would be, I would get too old before I have a full show, you know, I would 100 years old, and then, okay, I'm ready. Yep.
Okay. Audrius, you want to ask something, Michel?
Actually, it's very interesting that you from simple things create, and it's a very simple thing, but what we know your program and on your performance, you create very difficult instruments you put on your head, you put everywhere, you play with guitar, and so it's just interesting process how minds get to your head, or how this process of creating.
How you mean how I think about this? Or
yes. And
it's, I would like to have a recipe, and sometime if I could say, okay, in the morning, if I eat this and if I do this, the good idea will come. But it's always totally different. Like you talk about the helmet on the hat. I remember when I thought about this act, I was in a plane, and I don't know why this came to myself. I want to do a one-man band, but I don't want to do the one-man band where they have the bass drum in the back. You know, like it's traditional. So I wanted to do it differently. And then the idea came like this, and I said, okay, I should use some drums on the side and a hat with sticks. And then I tried it, and then I did about 2 or 3 different versions. At first I was doing, the drums were like this, I was doing ta 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 ta, tss. And then I said, oh, it's better like this, because it's easier for the audience to see the movement. So searching to make a weird idea work. And but there's never one way of thinking about ideas, and I don't know really how they come, because I would like to have more, you know.
And you have do you have students or sometimes groups that you do workshops?
I did not yet, but I am preparing some, because I was once invited in the Science Center in Singapore, and I said, how come they hire me in the Science Center? And they said, because what you do has a lot to do with sound, and we have an exposition on sound. So then recently they asked me to do this, and I said, oh, you know what, I want to do it, because showing how it works, the sound. Like when I play spoons, I have a spoon here, and when the free part is long, it goes, and when it's short, it goes. So all the sound principles that I can show the kids, and they will listen because they will see something visual, and then I will say, oh, now you want to see how this works? This is the science of sound. The sound is a vibration, and so it will be a mix between, it will be a workshop, a mix between looking something funny and learning how it works. So it will be a workshop on sound. But to answer your question, I did not do it yet, but I'm preparing something.
Have you ever met someone like you?
No!
Never!
Sometime in the mirror I say, who's this? He's crazy. I always try to, if I watch a show, sometime I was watching some show, and people who know me, they see me looking at the show, and they say, oh, you want to get inspiration. I say, yes, but I want to get inspiration on what not to do, because if I see it there, I won't do it. So sometime, but it might trigger some other idea, but I want to make sure that I don't do what has been done for a juggler, for instance. A juggler does this and has an apple and two balls, an apple, and he eats the apple. We've seen it in many times, so I don't want to do it. If I do something with an apple, it will be, I will eat the balls and the apple will stay there. You know, I always try to turn it around and try to make it new. But basically, really try to be original. So I see something, I say, okay, if I want to use this idea, I have to transform it to do it in my way. So originality, because otherwise, if I'm not original, if I don't find other type of ideas, the people won't hire me all around the world. They will take, the other people who can do. If I do the same, they will take something, some act that is local. So originality is a must for me. So up to now, it's been working. Hopefully, I do a couple of more years.
Hopefully, but have you ever met someone trying to do something like you, like
yes,
this combining?
I've seen people who do as me. they like it and they try it and they put it on YouTube and they say, hey, this is my act. But sometimes, most of the time, they're young people who do it for fun, and it's not like stealing the act like a professional artist. But people who do things that are similar to mine. A good example, when you talk about a series of bottles I put on the street, and I was going with roller skates and with little sticks, and the sticks would hit the bottles as I would roll through them, and then I saw a Chinese guy in a big warehouse where he had bottles exactly like me and a little car remote control with little sticks, and he was playing a melody. So I knew he saw my thing and he adapted it. So it's sometimes it's flattering to see that, oh, people see this and they want to do something similar. So
it's very interesting. Before you go on the stage, you do a lot of movements with your body. So you do some warm-up exercises before going on the stage.
I don't have to, but when I'm on stage, I do it gradually, and it's not so hard physically. It's not something that you don't need to be an athlete to do. Like, for instance, this thing, you don't need to be an athlete. So I don't really need to warm up like an acrobat. So I'm not that physically involved in the show. But of course, all I have to do is think about what I do. Okay, this. And there's a routine before the show, but warm-up is not one of those preparations.
Do you have?
Oh, sorry.
Do you have anything to wish for Lithuania, for Vilnius, for the audience, for tonight?
I wish the audience comes to see the show tonight. That's what I wish, and I promise you're going to have a great time. That's my promise.
Okay, so we are out of time because soundcheck is still waiting for us. So thank you, Michel, for being here. And I will switch to Lithuania now just to say that šiandien vakare Michelį galima bus pamatyti Kompensa arenoje. Vilnius Comedy Fest tęsiasi, rytoj taip pat tęsiasi, 1 valandą Daniel Mai mimas visai šeimai iš Prancūzijos, o 7 jau uždarimo koncertas Trio Olé, ispaniškas bardakas scenoje. Tai labai visus kviečiam, labai laukiam. Ačiū Audriui.
Ačiū.
Ačiū Airinai. Ir ačiū Micheliui. Thank you, Michel.
Thank you very much.
Ačiū.
See you tonight.
Thanks for the invitation.